What's up, guys? My name is Liliana Rua, aka Lil, and for this capstone project, I decided to choose the topic of the women's rights movement because I thought it was really cool, really interesting, and just really important to talk about. So, I hope you guys enjoy my presentation. Sit back and relax, and I hope you guys enjoy the colors, the wonderful colors that I incorporated into my presentation that are all over the place because you already know the vibes. You know. So, anyways, let's just get into the presentation. So, from the years that we've been born and the years way before that, there have been many women's rights activists, and I'm only going to bring up four that are specifically important for this type of topic because I don't really need to mention any upcoming women's rights activists. So, I'm going to be talking about the ones from like the 19th and the 18th century. So Susan B. Anthony, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Lucy Stone, and then we have Sojourner Truth. And Sojourner Truth was different from the rest. She was an African American women's rights activist. So that's what made her special because she was different. And they all spoke out meaningful messages regarding to this topic, obviously. They wanted to show people that being discriminated against and not having the right to vote and overall being treated poorly is not right for any woman, and no woman should have to go through that whatsoever. Alright, so now we're going to go into the history behind women's rights. The women's rights suffrage movement was a really big important piece of history that impacted many women to fight for their rights for freedom and equality. The first women's convention came to be in 1848 and was held in Seneca Falls, New York. The purpose of this convention was that women can, fight for what they wanted and what they needed, and eventually, they got what they wanted, what they needed, what they fought for. And then in 1920, the 19th Amendment to the Constitution was passed, ensuring the right of women to vote. So that's pretty really cool. And then at the first successful women's rights convention at Seneca Falls, things started to change. Lucy Stone was the first woman to keep her maiden name after marriage, and the state of Wyoming was the first state to allow women to vote. On October 16th, 1916, Margaret Sanger, however you pronounce her last name, sorry about that, opened the very first family planning and birth control clinic in New York. Within 10 days, she was arrested, unfortunately. In 1923, she opened another clinic. She fought to establish women's rights to control their own bodies. On June 23, 1972, the President signed Title II of the Education Amendments into law. This law prohibits discrimination on the basis of sex in any federal-funded education program or activity. 1973 was the year of the landmark decision in Roe v. Wade, when the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that the Constitution protects a woman's right to terminate an early pregnancy, making abortions legal. Okay, so in 1978, the U.S. Congress passed the Pregnancy Discrimination Act, which prevented employers from discriminating against pregnant employees. 1993, the Family and Medical Leave Act went into full effect, allowing women to take employment leave after giving birth. This act protected their job security while they were on maternity leave. 1994, the Violence Against Women Act was created. This act funds services for rape victims and domestic violence victims. It also provides other services geared at helping women. And then moving on to modern day women's rights issues, the pay wage gap. Today, on average, a woman working full-time only earns about 80 cents for every dollar earned by a man. Additionally, a woman's average annual earnings are over $9,000 less than a man. There is a lack of women in positions of power and inequality in the workplace. We are facing reproductive rights issues. Sex trafficking is a very big issue. Sex trafficking is a very huge issue. People force humans into commercial sexual exploitation. From 2007 to 2017, the National Human Trafficking Hotline received reports of 34,700 sex trafficking cases inside the U.S. Further, the International Labor Organization estimates that there are 4 million people trapped in forced sexual exploitation globally. Okay, so next I'll be talking about what we're doing to resolve current women's rights issues. So, Be Heard in the Workplace Act. This bill strengthens anti-discrimination laws, removes barriers that prevent people from accessing justice, and helps employers create harassment-free work environments, the Violence Against Women Reauthorization Act of 2019. This act strengthens the existing VAWA law to include additional improvements which further help women against violence. The Paycheck Fairness Act. This act includes provisions that address gaps in the Equal Pay Act of 1963, ensuring that employers pay women and men equally for their work. The New York Reproductive Health Act. This act expands abortion rights and eliminates several restrictions on abortion in the state of New York. It legalizes abortion at any time when necessary to protect a woman's life or health or in the absence of fetal viability. The new law in New York, it expands women's rights to abortion, and it has been a hot topic for debate. There are many arguments for and against abortion. Many people are completely for women's rights, but they feel that this new law has gone way too far. And now, heading on to the conclusion, the women's rights movement has really made such a big impact on women over time. It's important to know how far women's rights has come, but it's equally important to know how far we still need to go. People are standing up just as much now for equality as they did in the 18th century, in the 19th century. And we will continue to fight this fight for years to come. And that wraps up what I have to say. I hope you all enjoyed, and yeah, thank you.